Hello loft dwellers. Today I'm going to be looking at the Hornby Virgin Trains Pendolino and comparing it to the Dapol Pendolino. They both come in a similar sized box. This one, there are three versions of this train. There's this one here, which is called the Virgin Star. And there's another one which is called the 101 Squadron, and there's a third one which is the Alstom version, which has a different livery, which is noticeably different. The 101 Squadron has a slightly different livery, and it has first class stickers on the side, so that's how you can tell. This one, there's only one version of this train that's ever been produced. And it was issued in commemoration of the first prototype Pendolino to be produced, and here is Richard Branson in front of the prototype Pendolino. This model differs from this one because this is the production Pendolino, whereas this one is the prototype Pendolino. Well, now we're going to go to the layout, and we're just going to compare these two Pendolinos. First of all, here comes the Dapol Pendolino. Stop it there. Here comes the Hornby Pendolino. So move them absolutely side by side so you can compare. This Dapol train is appropriately called the Red Revolution. You can see the name tags, name thing on there. The Hornby model is called the Virgin Star. Now you can see here that the prototype Pendolino power car does not have this feature, which is the air conditioning unit. It does not have this air conditioning unit, but this detail here is picked out in black on the Pendolino here is the same, and this detail here is the same as it is on the Hornby Pendolino. I'll just zoom in a bit. Now you can see here the Hornby Pendolino has a light, whereas this light, there is only a representation of a light which doesn't illuminate. On the Hornby Pendolino, this feature is modelled almost the same as it is on the Dapol Pendolino, and also the decoration is almost the same. This feature is the same, and at the side, the logo is very similar. Looking at the front of these two Pendolinos, this is the Dapol one and this is the Hornby one, and you can see there's not very much to choose between them. This Virgin shield is more accurately depicted on the Hornby version. It's a little bit indistinct on the Dapol version. The application of this yellow livery is a little bit better on the Hornby model, but apart from that there's not very much to tell them apart. In this shot we compare the Virgin logo on the Dapol train to the Virgin logo on the Hornby train. Let's move the camera and you can see here the Hornby train. looking at the Hornby Pendolino, you can see that the finish is a little bit more plastic and toy-like compared to the finish on the Dapol model. We'll just move the Dapol Pendolino along to a straight piece of track so it can be compared. Now we will move the Hornby Pendolino along a bit. You can see, comparing the colour of the roof of the Hornby Pendolino, that the Hornby Pendolino is rather a lighter shade of red. The Dapol Pendolino has a more has a deeper shade of red. Now, comparing these two trains side by side, you can see each carriage is exactly the same length, and the two trains are exactly the same length. Now we will just move the Dapol train out of the way, showing the Hornby train behind. I'll just move it back a bit further, I think, so we can compare some of the features. If you compare the door on the Hornby model with the door on the Dapol model, you'll see it's not quite the same as the Dapol model. And you can see here the Virgin logo is depicted. Now, this Virgin logo is actually depicted on other versions of the Pendolino that the Hornby have issued. So in comparing the Dapol Pendolino with the Hornby Pendolino, the degree of decoration it applied, it actually is not a fault with the Hornby model. It is just that decoration wasn't on the version of the Pendolino that Hornby have modelled. Now examining the pantograph detail, you can see here the pantograph on the Dapol model is fixed in position and can't be lowered. However, a Pendolino can't actually operate with the pantograph lowered. It would always be in an upright position, so this is accurate. Here we see, if we compare the Hornby pantograph representation, you can see there is more detail on it, and also this pantograph can actually be lowered, whereas the Dapol one can't. You notice here that the pantograph on this Dapol model is held in place by two screws, one screw here, another screw here. So it might be possible to undo these and replace this rather plasticky pantograph with a better one. I don't know. What we're going to do now is compare the two power cars. This is the Dapol power car, and you can see if I turn it underneath, you can see that it says here Dapol. You also notice that there is like a recess here, which is not present on the Hornby model. If you look here, this is just a solid piece, but here there's a recess. The Hornby model, if you look here, is driven by a single power bogie here, which has a traction tyre here and a traction tyre here. But if we compare this to the Dapol model, we find that the Dapol model, you see, has a central motor with a flywheel, and it drives this worm gear here, and this worm gear connects to a cog which drives both axles. And also on the other end as well, I just pan across, you can see that it has a worm gear, the other end, which drives both axles. So that does actually mean all the axles are driven on the Pendolino model. You can see here that the Dapol Pendolino has a different kind of coupling mechanism to the Hornby one, which is this plastic affair. The Hornby Pendolino has traction tyres here and here, and the Dapol Pendolino has traction tyres here and here. On this particular model, the traction tyres have disintegrated, and I've scraped away the remains of them. It's important to note that the Dapol Pendolino uses a different size of traction tyre to the Hornby Pendolino, and the traction tyres for the Hornby Pendolino are not interchangeable with the traction tyres for the Dapol Pendolino. The Dapol Pendolino takes 9mm traction tyres, which are available from Hornby. The Hornby Pendolino takes 10mm traction tyres. It is not really a difficult issue. I mean, you can simply order the Hornby traction tyres, the 9mm Hornby traction tyres, and I will leave the number for it in the description. This is a slow speed test. The Dapol power car's wobbling a bit because it hasn't got its traction tyres on, but it works. It works quite well without its traction tyres. Fun, wasn't it? We can see from that test that the Hornby Pendolino is much faster than the Dapol Pendolino, and the Dapol Pendolino is also rather noisy.